am Fletcher Brown with another artist video blog at kicks96country.com. Our guest today, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, by way of, Alabama, basically, right? You guys, yeah, more or less.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
You guys
A-track,
are
yeah.
seriously, A-track. I mean,
A-track's right here.
So,
Boomtown Saints have come in here.
thanks for
All
having
right.
us, man.
Now, I would say personally, for my money, all right, from Brooks and Dunn through Montgomery Gentry up to Old Dominion, the Brothers Osborne, the country duo is one of those forces in country music that almost never fails to entertain and to just really, really drive energy in the format. So the Boomtown Saints here, Ben and Chris, are looking to become the next big country duo, and they're doing a pretty good job of it already. Your last single was already a top 50. All right, All Trucks Go to Heaven. All right, but we're here today. We're going to talk about some new music. We're going to talk about Blacktop Don't. We'll get to that. But first, let's learn who Ben and Chris are. All right, so Ben, let's start with you since you're sitting right here.
All right.
Where are you from originally?
Well, I'm from South Haven, Mississippi, but right below Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I grew up, went to college, all that good stuff, and then entered into a contest, met a few people, one thing led to the next, and I moved to Nashville.
That's right. You were in school. I'm trying to remember. Was it pre-med?
I was pre-med.
Pre-med. You were in school learning to be a doctor, and you decided that, you know what? Screw this. I'm just going to play guitar and sing songs.
That's pretty much how that happened.
He got
My
his
mom
mom's
was
approval.
not. Yeah,
yes.
I got the
She said
approval,
yes.
but she said yes, but she was like, "Are you sure?" And I went, "Yeah, kind of. Let's do it. Let's try it."
And Chris, what about you?
So I was, when I was a kid, I lived in Florida, but my family's been in Nashville now for 25 years, so Nashville's home.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the healthcare world. I was a consultant. I was helping pharmaceutical companies commercialize their products. A lot of boring stuff, regulatory, technology, all kinds of stuff. And met Ben, and we were just kind of doing it for fun. And then a couple years ago, when we got involved with Noah Gordon, who lives here in Muscle Shoals, and started 8-Track Entertainment here in Muscle Shoals, he started getting serious about some stuff and had to make a choice. And it was a very easy but difficult choice at the same time, because you worked for a long time to get where you're at in the corporate world. But man, when it's all said and done, they're going to say you chased it. So we're here.
So what I'm hearing, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the both of you took wise, stable career routes and just said, you know what? I'm not going to do that.
It's exactly that.
That was it. Yes, absolutely. If that boils down to that,
As
that's
well,
exactly
as
what
well
happened.
Which is usually a guaranteed recipe for success. Boomtown Saints, if you haven't had a chance to hear any of their music yet, you really want to go to boomtownsaintsmusic.com and listen to them. These guys are really, really, really phenomenal. Your current single, Blacktop Don't, it's powerful, it's energetic, it's tempo, from the very first, lyric in the song, like my baby want to go where the blacktop don't. We already know where this song is going to take us,
That's true.
right?
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you this: South Haven, Mississippi, Florida to Nashville. How did Muscle Shoals end up being where you guys, work and record?
So kind of crazy. Noah Gordon started 8-Track Entertainment, which is a multifaceted entertainment company. A record label's part of that, and he knew the history of music and understanding that the core of what we have today came out of the Shoals area.
Mm-hmm.
And so prior to this becoming a real thing, I watched the documentary. Everybody knows what the documentary is. And so I watched a documentary and learned about Fame Studios, about what came out of here, realizing that I didn't realize that Motown was basically made in Muscle Shoals, and then everybody else started coming here. And so when he said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing some stuff in Muscle Shoals, and we want you guys to be first artists on the label," it was kind of a no-brainer. We're like, absolutely. And now since then we've gotten to write here, we've gotten to record here, and man, it's just, yeah, it was a no-brainer. After knowing what Muscle Shoals is and does, and then Noah deciding to, should I do this and do you want to be a part of it? The answer was absolutely yes.
All right, so the Muscle Shoals music scene. I mean, how long have you guys actually been working with Noah and 8-Track?
Noah, we've known him for probably 3 years at this point.
Okay.
3 years working with 8-Track now for Uh, Shoot, 8-Track's been around for about a year and a half or so, but we've been working with Noah for about 2.5 years. Actively working with him
Okay.
for about 2.5 years.
So you've spent a significant amount of time here in the Muscle
We
Shoals
have,
area.
yes, sir.
Have you made any friends in the Muscle Shoals music community here?
Yeah, so we have a couple songs that are going to be on our record coming out later this year that we actually got to write in Rick Hall's office. We wrote them with James LeBlanc and Philip White, who were local legends around here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and so for anybody who hasn't met them, they're absolutely incredible humans as well.
Mm-hmm.
We got to write with them. Obviously, Rodney and his team have taken us under their wing and just treated us better than probably we deserve, and just a lot of different people in town that just really treated us. We've been welcomed to Muscle Shoals, and we don't know why, but we're not taking it for granted.
Absolutely. Well, welcome to the Muscle Shoals music community. I officially would like to welcome you on
Thank you,
behalf
sir.
of Big River Broadcasting. Let's talk about the music then. Let's talk about first. I kind of want to circle back to All Trucks Go to Heaven, because I will say, from my perspective as a country radio guy, we all expect country music to deal with heartbreak, to deal with loss. You know, your girlfriend, your husband, your marriage falls apart. You know, there's going to be a truck probably somewhere at some point, dirt roads and things like that. You managed to take, and I hesitate to use the word trope. It's not. I don't really think it's a trope. It's just kind of part and parcel for country, right? But you managed to take that theme of like heartbreak and loss and trucks and dirt roads and kind of turn it sideways, because All Trucks Go to Heaven is about saying goodbye to a truck, your vehicle. All right. Where did the idea to do that come from?
So when we were, first of all, the people involved in writing the song are, when they're legends. I mean, they're people who wrote "Till You Can't" by Cody Johnson and some other things. So when it comes to finding songs and having songs that have that kind of depth, it typically starts there with the people that are just, they're born with the ability. And the Jeremy Bussies of the world, who's become a buddy of ours, he they have a way of looking at songs, looking at a topic. So I mean, ultimately, All Trucks Go to Heaven is a take on love, but it's not defined, so you can kind of take your own route with the song. And the elements that each of these people brought to the song were just, you have this idea, okay, it's a truck and you lost something, and it might be a love, it might not. And the way that these absolute legends helped craft this song and put it together is really how it came about. And obviously, when you have people like Noah Gordon and Gary Crane that are on the production side of it, they brought it to a whole different level that we didn't even see the vision.
Yeah, I mean, we had no. I mean, when we first heard the song, we both really liked it, and I think that everybody has a different take on what the song is going to mean to them. I think that's subjective, is what it is. And for me, when I first heard the song, I still have my dad's '77 Chevy. He passed when I was 19 years old. It's still at my mom's house in Olive Branch, Mississippi. And when I go home, I still drive that truck, and I can see him driving that truck. Now, for some people, it's more of a hope situation, you know.
Yes, it's going to be all right. And that's kind of the message behind the song is, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're facing, just keep going. It's going to be all right.
I think you can have a love story with a vehicle, with a car. I mean, my mother, I grew up with my mother, her '66 Mustang. That was to this day, a '66 Mustang is my favorite car in the world. I mean, mainly because I grew up with one, right? So I mean, I totally get it. And the song, I think it was a great song. Let's talk about Blacktop Don't. Now, All Trucks Go to Heaven was kind of sad. It was interesting. It was cool. It was sad, but it wasn't really a ballad. But it kind of felt ballady. But now you're out of the box with this high tempo, driving, energetic song, Blacktop Don't. Did you guys have any hand in penning that song, or is that
we did not? So we actually, this is the one. So we get through and people that don't know how this works, you go through pitch sessions, and in those pitch sessions, you put songs in that you have. So we have a bunch of our record's going to have a bunch of songs you wrote on it. This was a song that we were shown by Noah. And when we heard it, so as an artist, there is ego that comes into play sometimes. You're like, well, I want my song because this song's great, and
not with us.
Almost any artist has it. And you want your songs on a record. Every now and then you hear one, and you realize that it's your responsibility
Mhm.
to put that song out. That's kind of our. That's kind of our.
It's a no-brainer if you don't do it. Just
Yeah, you
stop.
might as well just get out of the music business because you're in it for the wrong reason.
Mhm.
That was this song. We heard it, and the second we heard it, it was immediate. We had stopped, and we were asking things like, "Are you sure they're going to let us cut this?"
So and when we got pitched the song, I was sick. It was a couple of years ago now, and so they were all having a meeting, and then they FaceTime me, and I heard it for the first time, and I about jumped through the phone, and I said, "We got to have that song right now." My wife loves her sleep. My wife loves her sleep, and I love her to death. But I woke her up at 11:30 because I asked them to get me the demo tape of it, and I walked her into the living room and played the song for her, and she was like, and then everything just came, the chorus came, and she went, "Oh wow,
Yeah.
oh wow, that's the song."
So we've been
Yeah.
excited about this one. We've been excited. I think it was very important that we put out a more traditional sounding song, like
Yeah.
All Trucks Go to Heaven First, as our debut, because this one is kind of, it's a summer song, it's a summer anthem. So there was definitely they wanted to establish that we can actually be country artists and sing, and
Mhm.
before we put out that boot stomper, and because there are some reminiscent of other duos out there when you hear the song, but again, we heard it and it was our responsibility, so we did.
And
Well-
oh, sorry.
No, go, please.
The cool thing about this song is, if you come to one of our shows, this song pretty much is that show. I mean, you look at me, I'm up there doing whatever I'm doing it, then you look, you see something flash across the stage.
Chris is flashing people from.
Come
Well,
on,
no,
man.
let me rephrase that real quick. Chris
I've
is-
never seen that.
better
in a
wording,
country
better
show.
wording.
Sorry,
Better wording to be used.
That was a Mississippi
Okay.
coming out in me. No, but he's crazy. He'll jump around and everything else, and I mean that song kind of just gives, when you come to our show.
It's an audio representation of the visual.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, now your individual styles, and I always like to look at the music that made you. One of you is a big fan of, like, old jazz and blues. That would
me.
be Chris.
Yes, sir.
And you are a fan of, like, that good old traditional country,
Classic rock.
Yes. All
That's
right.
what I grew up on.
So those now jazz and blues and rock, obviously they have roots that come that tie together. Country ties into that a good bit too. So did you find that those two backgrounds, you guys just fit together very well because of that, or is there maybe some pushing that goes between?
No,
those two?
it's kind of interesting. Ben and I mean, it's pretty easy to tell if you meet us for 14 seconds that we're very opposite. I mean, we have different type of personalities. I mean, just everything about us is somewhat polar opposites on at least the surface level. Obviously, both of our hearts for our family and God, and that's where we're rooted in, which kind of keeps the core there. But it's always just kind of worked, and we don't exactly know why. And same with the music too. When we sit down to write, those two elements, I'll bring an idea to the table, or Ben will bring an idea, and I'll have the really, R&B kind of feel to the music and the flow to it. And I'll be like, Ben, I just want you to sing and put your touch on it. And it just creates something it typically comes out really unique, but works.
And then the harmonies. I mean, he spent about an entire year learning how I talked.
Yes. Yeah, man.
Hey, dude, where were we? Where were we?
Oh, we were
where were we?
We were in Oregon. We were in Portland, Oregon.
Portland.
This was 1 month ago. We were in
1 month
Portland,
ago.
Oregon. And the band always makes fun of Ben, the way he talks, because it's just because you can't, now that you've heard Ben talk, whenever you hear Ben said this, you're going to hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
If it's
Everywhere.
a text message that comes through, they read it in my voice.
And so we were in Portland, Oregon, and we're always like, man, my name's Ben Chisholm. And so we were up there, and we were checking into the hotel. And this,
She's like, what's
he
it
goes,
under?
he goes,
Ben
Ben
Chisholm.
Chisholm. And she's like, I'm sorry, sir. He goes, Ben Chisholm. She goes, sir, I can't understand anything you're saying.
I look back at them and I said, can y'all come up here and translate this for me?
We
Y'all
couldn't,
speak
because we were
English.
all laughing on the ground. It was the greatest moment of my life.
Wow.
But yes, it took a year to learn the just the way the words are started and ended, and
Well, my mother's from Mississippi. Trust me, I get it.
you get it.
I do. I get it. The my mother, she's from further south, Natchez, but Trust me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I grew up hearing a lot of the Mississippi variants, so I get it. I do. Our guests are Boomtown Saints, Ben and Chris. Where do folks find you? If you've got brand new fans right now, where do they go look for you on the internet?
So social media at Boomtown Saints on Instagram and TikTok, which we are on TikTok, at Boomtown Saints Music on Facebook, and then as you mentioned earlier, www.boomtownsaintsmusic.com, and then obviously on all platforms, music platforms for Boomtown Saints.
Blacktop Don't. That's the single. You want to hear it? Call us at Kicks 96. We are happy to play it for you, especially going into the summer. I promise it's going to be one of your favorites this year. Ben, Chris, thank you guys for coming by.
Thank you for having us.
All right, and best of luck to you guys and Noah and 8-Track and anybody who's doing Muscle Shoals music and doing Muscle Shoals proud like these guys are. We just want to support them and just tell them it's like, hey, God be with you, man. Seriously, we love you. So we'll see you next time on another artist video blog here at Kicks96Country.com.
Can't get enough, I can't say no. And my baby wanna go where the Blacktop don't.